you got to embrace imperfection and just understand that perfection is just the enemy, and the enemy coming in and trying to stall progress. Launching imperfectly allows for growth and learning. And of course, the enemy doesn't want you to grow and learn. What you're building isn't just a brand, it's the work and story God trusted you to carry. Welcome to Heard in Heaven. I'm Ray Ireland, best-selling author, global speaker, and co-founder of Evolve Podcasting, where our clients have reached over 3 million downloads. This show is where Holy Spirit revelation meets CEO execution. So your message doesn't just inspire, it multiplies. It's time to speak with fire, shake the earth, and be heard in heaven. If you've ever felt like you need to be more polished or perfect before you go public with something, then this episode is for you. Today, I'm going to be talking about going public with a message without needing the perfectionism. So that way you can start confidently sharing your voice and your influence and your story and your impact to your audience authentically now, not waiting till down the road. Because the truth is, most of the time, we don't know what is actually going to happen next. So how are we supposed to end every story perfectly? You just can't. Otherwise, you're just always going to be telling stories that are way from the past, which is fine, but there's a level of connection and authenticity and vulnerability that gets built up, and you get to come into connection when you're sharing what is actually real. And so bust through the noise of everyone else that is coming in as an authority of this and that. I'm not saying that you don't want to own what you're talking about. I'm just saying that there is a level of realness and rawness that I think everyone is craving. And if you actually bring that forward, you're going to find your listeners are going to meet you there. They're going to feel safe to be real and raw with you. And that's where real connection is formed. And in fact, that's where real monetization happens, because sales is an exchange of this connection and understanding. And you're not going to be able to have that if you're always surface level and perfect. So I want to share, there's been many times where I've hesitated to launch a project, whether that was this Heard in Heaven or my previous podcast or my book, or even a new launch of a program or a mastermind. And it's because I felt like, oh, it's not ready. It's not done yet. It's not perfect enough. But as soon as I launched it, then all of a sudden I'm getting this positive feedback, and also maybe not positive feedback, but growth opportunities. I think there needs to be a real reframe. When you're getting feedback that isn't so positive, you need to know that that's God's grace for your growth. And you get to really take it in and make new decisions and changes and pivots. But you would never get that feedback if you just stayed in your own cell and silo of just you and your own thoughts or your own voices, or even you and your friend or a partner. You need to put stuff out there. There's just other people that actually, if you imagine this, that actually want to benefit you, right? By giving you that feedback. And it's just like a garden. Like, you can't just plant a seed and then keep it in a silo for the most part. Maybe I don't know all the plants that are out there, but most of the time, what else does the seed need? It needs water, it needs sunlight. Some would even say it could use some love, like that intentionality. All of that will create a blooming flower or fruit or vegetable. And so that's same with you and when what you're putting out there. We want to think about imagining the regret of letting fear and imperfection silence your unique voice, missing out on moments that could transform both your life and the lives of those that are meant to hear you, right? So staying silent could actually be meaning forsaking that calling and leaving this untapped potential within you, just within, not sharing it. So I don't want you to have that disconnect from your true path and the calling and the people that you're meant to inspire just out of fear. So let's break that. Yeah. All right. So let's go into how do we do that? If you're loving this conversation and it's sparking something inside of you, maybe it's time to share your own voice with the world. That's exactly why we created the Podcast Accelerator, to help leaders like you go from hidden to heard with a podcast that connects, inspires, and actually grows your business. We launched together in just a few months, and you'll have the system, support, and strategy to keep scaling and growing. Doors are open now, so the link to apply is in the show notes. We cannot wait to see you in there. So you got to embrace imperfection and just understand that perfection is just the enemy, right? And the enemy coming in and trying to stall progress, right? Launching imperfectly allows for growth and learning. And of course, the enemy doesn't want you to grow and learn. No, he wants to keep you stalled. So let's empower ourselves by knowing the tools of the kingdom and being able to take and embrace imperfect action. And while you're doing that, gathering that feedback, like I said, even early feedback, let that be a guide to refine and enhance your project or idea. And then you'll be able to continue to improve your work. If you're staying in the fear of not sharing, not launching, you're not going to get that feedback, right? If you do, as you do, start small. I'm not saying you have to take the biggest leap and launch the biggest thing. Just start by implementing your ability to share imperfectly on a small scale. Test its effectiveness. Don't take everything I say as the truth. Go test it yourself. Gather your data and see, wow, is this working? Is this fostering deeper levels of connection and understanding? Is this actually helping me even monetize my message? And if so, then you'll know you're onto something. So yeah, don't trust me and all the client success stories I have. I do have them, but go do it yourself and become another one of the new success stories that I get to share. Speaking of community and the clients, right? There is always a community that you can leverage. So whether you're in a mastermind like ours, or you have a mastermind or a different community that you're a part of, engage with them. Get into that supportive community that's going to be able to embrace your vulnerability and imperfection. Know your audience, right? Don't try this in a space where there's going to be lots of judgment and people aren't encouraging perspectives and encourage and things like that. Go to the right places for this. This is just something to share. It will work 95% of the time to create and foster that connection, but that 5% of the time you might just be feeding your heart to the swines, right? So the last thing I want to say on this is just take the time to reflect and adapt. So as you do this, keep reassessing the results, adapt the approach of how much you share, how little you share, and you're going to be able to get a lot of good feedback and start to know that you can share more and more. As you share, be authentic. And one thing you can do is just share one thing, one story that has happened while you've been on your entrepreneurial journey, right? And this might be on social media or a platform or in a community, and just start to see and anchor the truth that you don't have to be perfect at it. Most people do end up getting stuck at this. They listen to this episode and then they don't share something new, or they don't put themselves out there. And again, that's just a stall tactic from the enemy. So let's armor up and say, no more. We are living in the kingdom, and that's what we are going to live and act by. In case you do feel like you're going to get stuck, I'm going to tackle this on the next episode. Yeah, this is going to be a great episode, so stay tuned. And that's going to be the fear of sharing personal stories. And let's look at whether that's just a myth or is that reality. So I've got some good stuff there for you guys on the next one. We'll see you. Your voice carries weight, not just for today, but for eternity. If this episode stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, speak it, let it ripple. If you're ready to launch a platform that amplifies your message and multiplies your impact, I'm here to help. Start your journey with the link in the show notes down below. Subscribe, leave a review, and remember, When you speak with fire, you don't just shake the earth, you echo in heaven.